Hi everyone. So I'm still gathering people to do the interviews. So instead today I'm going to interview myself to give you the answers to those 7 questions that I advertised last week from my point of view, so we already get to know each other a bit. So the first question is, who are you and how did you get to where you are today? So I'm a PhD in physics. My name is Emma Geoffrey. I'm French, but I live in Switzerland. I studied in Switzerland in Lausanne for my bachelor and my master. Then I moved to Heidelberg for the PhD. And during the PhD, I actually realized that the things that I like most was not actually doing the research. It was teaching other people what I had learned, giving talks, giving tutorials. I loved that stuff, just learning a lot of new stuff and then teaching it to others. That's my real passion. This is why after the PhD, I decided to move into training and coaching. And this is what I do now with my company, Grow Into Your PhD. Second question is, what's one thing you loved about your research and one thing you appreciate about your current position? So about research, I already said I love learning and teaching, but beyond that, about the research topic itself, it was physics, theoretical particle physics, and I just loved the math. I just love that math that is just so structured and so easily understandable when you know the rules. Could be applied to physics, to everything we see, to understanding particles and the beginning of the universe and all of that. I was just very passionate about discovering all those fundamental physics topics using math. That was really what I was passionate about. One thing that I appreciate about my current position is the freedom that it affords me. Being self-employed is very, very hard. Every day is a new battle against yourself, against just everything that life throws at you, and trying to find people to work with. All of this is difficult stuff, but I also get to decide if I want to do a specific course on a specific thing. I just decide to advertise it and then I do it. And I can learn about anything I want. I can organize my day any way I want. We're already very free in research, but I found that entrepreneurship is even more freedom, and that's something that I really like about it. So what were my best and worst days as a researcher, and what did each of them teach me? I would say the best day, beyond of course receiving the PhD and being happy about that, the best day was not a specific day. It was the moments with the people. I really liked a lot of the people in the team, and we got along very, very well. And so we organized things. So they came for fondue at my place, or we organized darts and pizza very regularly on Friday nights, and that was very nice. And something that I really loved about research is being part of a team of very young people who have a lot of common interests. And that's what I really loved about research, and the best moments are those moments that I shared with those people. The worst day was probably the time when I was on holiday and I still needed to finish a paper, and I was super, super stressed. And then I was trying to apply to other places, and it was really the worst few days of my entire PhD, where I had a rule to not work on weekends and not work on holidays, and I typically was very good at following that rule, but that time we really needed to publish at that specific time. And so we were already 2 to 3 days into my holidays with my parents, and I was still writing the paper, still proofreading everything that everyone had added while I was gone, 2, also applying to other positions that I was trying to apply to by a specific deadline, and 3, trying to still spend time with my family while on holidays and feeling stressed by balancing all of these 3 different things. Also not being at home, not really having the nice setup to work. It was really awful. And I also had health issues at the time, so it was really a very, very hard time. And I was very close to burnout at this point. And the health issues really did not make things better. So that was probably the worst moment in all of my PhD career. So while the best moments taught me about the importance of community and having a group of people that you get along with to do research alongside and to have just fun moments outside of research with, the worst day really taught me about my own limits and the fact that I was pushing them and I was getting close and actually probably in burnout at this point of my PhD. So that's an experience that I went through and that has been useful to me afterwards, even though it was really not a good time to be in my body at the time. It has taught me about my own limits and how to better care for myself and how to better know when I'm pushing too hard for too long. Question 4. What's a secret you've discovered about succeeding in academia or outside academia that you wish more people understood? The thing I really wish more people were using is networking, because that's really how you get anywhere that you want to go. Yes, there are positions that you can get to where it's very codified and it's really like this specific person because they have a score on this specific test very high or they have this number of paper, then they're going to get the position. But mostly you get positions in academia and outside academia because you know people who can recommend you. And those connections are really, really important to, one, recognize and two, utilize without using people, right? So it's not a matter of I need to get to this place, so I'm going to annoy this person. It's more a matter of what can I show this person that would be beneficial for them, and also like kind of in return back and forth have a rapport that maybe later down the line is going to help me get where I want to go. So those people that you publish with, those people that you just sympathize with at conferences, those people that know other people that you know, like those are very important things to keep in mind whenever you're trying to look for anything else, be it a position, being people to work with later down the line for papers, or contact again once you're self-employed and giving workshops like I am, etc., etc. Networking is really, really important. Question 5. What's one thing that bothers you about the system and that you would like to change? One thing that I don't particularly like about academia and that I think creates a lot of problems is how hierarchical it is and how siloed everyone is in their own groups. So if you have somebody at the top of the group who is great, then typically everything goes very well because they also kind of attract people who have the same vibe, if that makes sense. But if you've got somebody at the top who is maybe not looking at people who can get along, looking maybe only at the science and not the people aspect of things, then it can get very hard. And you can be in an environment that is not very nice and there's very few things for you to do. Of course, universities are putting things in place. In like Germany, it's Ombudspeople that you can talk to, contact people at the university that are different from your group, and maybe you can still get in contact with other people that you're working with, even if they're not directly in your group. But it's still, to me, it feels very siloed, the way academia works typically. And I don't think this is to the advantage of the PhD students and the postdoc typically, unless you have someone at the top who is conscious of these things and how to create an inviting environment for everyone, an empathetic, kind, productive environment for everyone. So I'm not sure exactly how to change it, but that's the one thing that if I could address it right away, that's the one thing that I would put money on and say, okay, how do we solve this particular systemic problem? Because I feel like it trickles down and a lot of other problems are linked to this particular one. Okay, question 6. What's one person you look up to or are grateful for on your scientific journey? So I'm going to have to say Ilaria Brevio. I really loved working with Ilaria. She was one of my postdocs during my PhD and we got along very, very well. And she's now a professor on tenure track position in Bologna, and she knew a lot about the physics. Like, she was really on it, but she was very hardworking, very nice to work with. She held me up with also other people that we were working with at the time. But during the very beginning of my PhD, when it was COVID and we were all at home, we still met every day with Ilaria and Sebastian Brückesser, and we talked and talked, and also Michiel. We talked and talked, and those people really, they held me up during that time that really wasn't easy, when a month and a half into my PhD, I was already not in the lab anymore. So I'm really, really grateful to those people, and I really look up to Ilaria in particular. 7, what are your predictions about the future of research in the next 10 years? So it seems like a bit of an uncertain time, given everything that's happening also with research in the US and everything. It seems very uncertain what the future of research looks like. The one thing that I feel confident making a prediction on is probably AI, but that's a very easy one. It's going to become ubiquitous, and we're going to have to face the questions and the challenges and the incredible opportunity that it poses and opens. It's going to be used for sure in literature review, in actually writing papers, in doing research itself. Obviously, my PhD supervisor is very much into anything AI related for particle physics, and there are many, many more groups that are going to develop in this way in the future. So to me, the one prediction that I feel confident making is that it's going to become ubiquitous in research, and we're going to have to, as a community, decide what are good scientific guidelines to put around it, also in the use of AI by researcher in their work on things that are not doing a model for a scientific purpose, but kind of using, for example, LLMs to help you work as a scientist. What is going to be authorized, normal practice, and what is going to be not good practice. For example, if you end up publishing 60 papers and none of them are really interesting just to get citations, that's probably not good practice. So we're going to have to ask ourselves these questions and wrestle with the things that are going to come up with this new tech. So that's it for today. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully next time I have actually someone with me, someone else. I asked a few of my friends if you guys are interested in having these 7 amazing questions posed to you so that you can give your own point of view on research, PhD life, etc., etc. Please reach out to me in the comments or in the DMs. I would love to have you on. Thank you guys, and see you next week. Bye bye.